So in the partnership agreement, it talks about the types of things that it wants to do. Each of the 9 regional plans will, and I'm just going to read one bullet. It says integrate planning for housing, transportation, water infrastructure, natural resources, economic development, cultural and historic resources, public health, climate change, and energy efficiency. Well, this was promoted as a land use planning document, and this incorporates quite a bit more than that. Water infrastructure is important. The definition of water infrastructure is sewers, it's public water, and the people in Windham were quick to say, well, that's not our town. Well, you know what? Yes, it is, because after Eileen talks, and you have a vision of what these people want to do to your town, your quaint town with charm and character, it will not look like this in 25 or 30 years. And let me explain something. This is a program where they have patience. And it's a nudge, and it's a nudge, and it's a nudge. And it's just this one part of town, the rest is beautiful. But eventually, over time, it will come to be what their vision is, and their vision is not what your vision is. And you need to listen to these people carefully, to the words they use, because the definitions of the words that they use are not the same that you will apply to those words. And as they speak to you, you will be thinking about 2 separately different things. It's frightening. This also talks about the commissions. Each one will develop a housing plan and analysis for impediments to fair housing. Now that's a key document too. That's a legally binding document that could literally put every town in the crosshairs of HUD and open up your town to a federal lawsuit. And I will give proof of that by the time I'm done if I don't run out of time. This document defines that there will be many teams put together in order to, in each regional planning commission that will help design the regional plans. One of those teams is called a regional equity team. Regional equity team that is comprised of representatives of underserved and marginalized populations in their region that will ensure the voices of these populations are reflected in the regional plan. Well, I asked them, who are the underserved and marginalized populations? They gave me a bogus answer. They said, well, those are the people who don't have time to vote. Those are the people who get up at 6 in the morning, drive down to Boston, come back at 10 o'clock at night, and they're not represented. Really? Okay. In their legally binding documents, they have the underserved definition of that, which I will read to you later. And it's not what they told us. There's a section in here, one of the partners is the New Hampshire Housing Finance Authority. I'll come back to that. That's part of my later on. There's the New Hampshire Energy and Climate Collaborative. Will participate in the Climate Change and Energy Efficiency Technical Advisory Subcommittee. Okay, so that's what I gleaned off of the partnership agreement.
Ken, could you speak up a little bit, please?
Sure. One of the partners of this program, and there are many, and they are all frightening to me, because none of those partners represent my conservative, constitutionally based point of views. One of the partners is called Action Media, actionmedia.org. It's a PR firm, and this is off of their website, direct quotes, that provides communications for positive social change. So when you go to the Get Results link, it states, our client's work is about power, how are resources used, and who gets to decide. Our work is about the power of communications to shift the advantage, to mobilize support, and to neutralize opposition. For me, the inclusion of Action Media elevates my concerns. If we are really, first of all, why is the government hiring a PR firm to sell me on a program that should be there for my benefit? Our tax dollars are going to use to hire a firm to neutralize my voice. I have an issue with that. If we are a true free society, we should all have a say in this. And if in the end, all of us agree, or most of us agree that this is a good thing, so be it. But that's not the process that's happening right now. When Eileen and I were doing the research early on, we found that there were towns that signed up and then wanted to back out. There's one town is in Arizona. They made reference, these are minutes from one of their meetings, one of their selectmen's meetings. It turns out that when they wanted to back out, their representative to HUD warned them that you really should try to work this out with HUD, that if you try to use the plans that we've started to develop together, HUD may take possible legal action. So while they're telling you on one hand, there's no obligation, there's no commitment, you can back out anytime you want, on the other hand, just saying, whoa, 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 there may be a lawsuit here. They were asking this town to sign the agreements, and this is a quote, again, from this document. It says that no one has seen the goals and requirements of the consortium and HUD, except for Mr. Rogers, who is the HUD representative, and a few others. One of the counselors is not willing to sign on to the contract when he does not know all of the stipulations. This is not the first time that Eileen and I read that people were being asked to sign legally binding documents without the information being put in front of them. That's very concerning to me. There's another town in North Carolina where the town actually, it was a bunch of businesses, hired a consultant to be part of the board to see if this was a good thing or not. And he came back and reported that it's a rigged and despicable and costly project. Those are his quotes. He said that the working groups are comprised mainly of Asheville residents and environmentalists, a number of whom are extreme environmentalists, and that the program is designed to give certain groups a platform to push their social agenda on participating counties and, quote, totally change and control our way of life. Gentlemen, this is the most rigged group of screws I've ever seen in my life, unquote. They must think we're brain dead. We have no say, none. They must think we're done. To participate in this program, they could write the final result today. They don't need 3 years of meetings. They're going to control it all. Here's the HUD document that was originally given to us. We were told there are no mandates. It's bottom up, not top down. Advisory only. This section here lists 8 different sets of documents. One of these has 4 sets of documents, so there's 11 associated with it. So when I read through this, I was surprised to see, in bold capital letters, substantial involvement. HUD's Office of Sustainable Housing and Communities will work in partnership with its grantees to advance the program's objectives of the grant program. The cooperative agreement allows for substantial involvement of HUD staff to enhance the performance of the grantee and completion of their deliverables. So there are no mandates, yet there are deliverables. There's 3 sections down here. It says anticipated substantial involvement by HUD staff include, but will not be limited to, studies and reports. One of the bullet points is review and provide recommendations on the final report study, including final interpretation of study results. Now that's key. So any study that gets done, they interpret the data, they tell you what it means, and that's what it's going to mean during the implementation of this program. Now I'm going to get back to that. Under approvals and reviews, they have the right to review and approval of key personnel. If this is a bottom-up program, why can't the towns who are submitting their people that are going to represent them in this process, why don't they have final approval? Why can't they choose the people and submit them and say, these are our representatives? There's a section on participation and monitoring. This says implementing HUD requirements which limit recipient discretion. That's not bottom up.
Croc TV.